Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, guys. Today I want to talk extensively about the Cleveland Cavaliers as a whole. They are 17-12 right now, and this team, they're legitimate contenders. Let's be real here. I want to talk about the finals. I want to talk about making a run at the NBA Finals, as crazy as it seems. But before we get into this video, guys, if you enjoy it, you like daily NBA content, pretty much at this point, it's daily Cavs content, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We're trying to hit 10,000 subscribers by the end of the month. And Cavs Nation, you guys are single-handedly getting me there. Got my last video to about 400 likes. So let's try and get this video to 100 likes for the next Cavs video. And yeah, thank you guys for all the support. But you guys play my Houston Rockets tomorrow, and first off, the Houston Rockets tomorrow are very shorthanded. I don't think Eric Gordon's been ruled out. I don't think Christian Wood's going to play. But on the other hand, I don't think that Evan Mobley is going to play in tomorrow's game against the Houston Rockets. So you have two red-hot teams. I do believe Cleveland's going to get the win. And, to be quite honest with you, I think it might be in blowout fashion. As hot as the Rockets are right now, they are missing a lot of key players. And, this Cleveland Cavaliers team, third-ranked defense in the NBA. They're 8-2 in their last 10. They're beating just like some really good NBA teams, and they're just really hard to stop right now. So tomorrow's game should be, regardless, very, very entertaining. But I wanted to make this video because, I love talking about the Cleveland Cavaliers, but there's something different about this team. And, it hasn't been just in the last 10 games, right? They're 8-2 in their last 10, and it has not been just the last 10 games, right? That's just been a third of the chunk of like the 30 games that most NBA teams have played to this date. And I've been reading your guys' comments, and you all bring up some really, really good points. And I saw this comment where it was like, it's really interesting that the Cleveland Cavaliers they've gone so large. Maybe Cavs fans thought this, but outside of Cavs fans, very, very few people thought that Lauri Markkanen, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen was going to work this well. Maybe they thought, they'll figure it out by the end of the season. It's not that bad of a line. It's not that bad of a lineup, or I shouldn't say it's not that bad. It's not that crazy of a lineup to have 3 7-footers if you think about like who those 3 7-footers are. But it's so interesting because, we're in a day and age in the NBA where, all these teams are trying to get they're trying to get almost like smaller, right? They're looking for like elite 3-point sharpshooters. Kind of like where you have one big man and everyone just kind of operates through him. So you get one dominant big man, like one big dominant 7-footer, and you just surround him with shooters, you surround him with playmakers, and that's the recipe. We're shifting. The NBA is shifting right now. The Milwaukee Bucks won last year's NBA Finals shooting 33% from downtown. The Milwaukee Bucks, they had very solid 3-point shooters, but the same thing was for the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns weren't by any means an elite 3-point shooting team at any point last year, and especially not in last year's playoffs. The NBA is transitioning. And, I'll use an example for the Toronto Raptors, because I view a team like the Toronto Raptors in 2 to 3 years from now being at the top of the NBA. Not only because they have Scottie Barnes, a huge reason is because they have Scottie Barnes, and Scottie Barnes is looking like the rookie of the year with Evan Mobley, granted, but Evan Mobley's missed a chunk of time. But, Scottie Barnes and the Toronto Raptors, what Masai and the Raptors are building right now is interchangeable defensive pieces. They're putting such a huge focus on defense. What this translates into is, and obviously they have a bunch of players who can score. It's not like they're only going for just defensive players who can't score on offense. They have really solid defensive guys who can score. Pascal Siakam, Gary Trent Jr., Fred VanVleet. We didn't view Gary Trent Jr. as a good defensive piece this year, but he's averaging like over 2 steals per game. So what I'm trying to get at here is defense wins championships. And the Cleveland Cavaliers have figured that out. They're the 3rd-ranked defense in the NBA, and they had the 3rd pick in the NBA draft, how many months ago? 6 months ago. It's a crazy turnaround. This has been in the works for a couple of years now. But this season, you're seeing breakout years from guys like Jared Allen, Darius Garland. And I'm not trying to say Jared Allen and Darius Garland weren't good before this year, but they're having all-star caliber, Jared Allen's case, record-breaking seasons. Jared Allen, 17 points per game, 11.1 rebounds, more than a block per game, and he's shooting over 70% from the field. No player in the history of the NBA has done that before. Jared Allen, right now, is looking like an essential lock to be an all-star this season. And it's with very, very good competition as well. Darius Garland, 18.9 points per game, 7.5 assists. He's shooting just about 40% from downtown. And what Darius Garland is, obviously the statistics are impressive. I think a lot of Cavs fans, even just like good NBA fans, kind of saw this coming at the end of last year. Like the second half of last year, Darius Garland, in my eyes, really kind of broke out. Like that's where we saw, like, okay, Darius Garland is like that dude. Like he is that dude. And this year, it's just, he's gotten better. He's gotten better. But Darius Garland can play defense. He can play the pick and roll. He can play off ball. He can catch and shoot. He can take over a game and score 5 straight buckets. So this team is being led by Jared Allen and Darius Garland, who, by the way, are both below the age of 23. Jared Allen and the Cleveland Cavaliers got absolutely flamed less than a year ago in that trade with the Houston Rockets, that big old trade to get Jared Allen there. They signed him to a contract, $100 million for 5 years, and every single person not named a Cavs fan called them crazy, stupid, idiotic, whatever you want to do. So they pair him with a guy like Evan Mobley, who this early on in his NBA career is demonstrating, first off, he can guard 1 through 5. This man is a specimen I haven't really seen before. He can consistently and lock down 1 through 5. Offensively, Evan Mobley is going to break out eventually. You see the spurts of it. We're seeing spurts of it right now. For the most part, he needs to be more aggressive. And once he figures that out, holy cow, I am a 7'3" stud, it's over. Once he figures that out, once he figures out how to utilize that and how to play his game in the NBA at the highest level, it's game over. And you give these 3 guys, first off, Isaac Okoro, they got drafted for defense. Last 3 games specifically, offensively has gone off. I love the progression and the potential of Isaac Okoro. Lauri Markkanen also chipping in. He's giving you almost 15 points per game. But I want to talk about Kevin Love because, I touched on this yesterday. Kevin Love is like he's the X factor. He's been the Cavs X factor. Actually, let's talk about his stats here. 12 points per game, 7 rebounds in just 20 minutes. If you're getting 12 points, a couple of threes, and 7 rebounds from your bench player who's playing 20 minutes per game, you're at such an advantage every time you play. And we really saw this the other night, realistically last night, where Kevin Love scored, 23 points in the second half? He'd even closed the game. He pretty much put that game last night into like almost a blowout. Kevin Love comes in here, drains like 5-6 threes. You're probably winning that basketball game. And even just emotionally, he looks like I've probably never seen Kevin Love have this much fun. Maybe in Minnesota, maybe when they won the championship with LeBron James, but I haven't seen Kevin Love like this excited in a very, very long time. This Cavs team is very fun to watch. They are a legitimate threat at the NBA Finals given all the teams in the NBA. We got COVID going around, the injury bugs going around. The title is open for grabs this year. You can't count out the Cleveland Cavaliers. They're going to make a playoff run. They're not going to be an easy win in the playoffs regardless of what seed they're going to be. And they're probably like one dominant shooter away from being like, oh my God, we actually need to be afraid of this team. That's it for today, guys. I would love to hear your thoughts on the Cleveland Cavaliers and their playoff potential down below in the comment section. But most importantly, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you guys enjoyed. Try and get 100 likes on today's video. I probably won't post a preview video, but you can definitely count on a Cavs recap video tomorrow night. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys later.